Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Mark.
Tark, if you will.
Let's have a talk.
Today, we're going to be reviewing Avengers Endgame. Just came out yesterday, and we managed to get the first showing. Mark, what'd you think?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Wonderful?
I loved every second of it.
But still not better than Cap 2 in your eyes,
No.
right? Nothing ever is.
No, nothing.
I think it was better than Cap 2.
Nothing will beat Cap 2.
I don't understand the amount of love you have for that film.
It's just good.
This isn't about Cap 2, though.
No, this is about Endgame and how it ended the Infinity Saga perfectly.
Perfectly.
Ended almost all the character arcs in a good way. Everyone had a good send-off.
I think, yeah, like after 11 years and really working on this whole thing, seeing everything come together, just the culmination, how everybody played off each other so well and all the loose ends got tied up. Everybody you were wondering where they'd end up actually ended up like that. I thought it was a really good send-off. I think you're completely right.
Yes.
And we rarely do agree.
Rarely.
So let's get into the plot of the film. It initially starts off 22 days after
21.
Infinity War.
21 going on 22.
I thought it was 22 going on 3. Either way, it's a short amount of time. It's like 3 weeks. And, we're down to the last few people post-snap. And we got their second run at Thanos. And they totally manage it. They basically just show up at his house.
With ease, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, no fight, no nothing.
Yeah. But it doesn't solve any of their problems. The Infinity Stones are gone. So it becomes this whole quantum realm, time travel, jumping around. And it honestly worked out pretty well. It was really cool. You get to relive a lot of the iconic scenes from the MCU over the past 11 years.
That was good. What's the word I'm looking for? Fan service.
Fan service, yes. That is exactly the word you're looking
Going
for.
to the behind the scenes of the original Battle of New
getting
York.
to see
You could
America's ass.
Yep, Captain America's ass.
Yes.
And how it doesn't work for him in the suit.
It kind of did, but let's figure it out.
And you see the woman from Doctor Strange. I forgot her name already.
The ancient one.
The ancient one. That's good to see that she actually was helping in the Battle of New York as well.
Yeah. There were a lot of things like going on behind the scenes you didn't know, and it gave you another scope into the universe itself, which was really cool. And then they go through the whole point. Everybody gets brought back at one point. If you weren't aware, if you didn't figure that, I'm sorry for you, but
You couldn't tell by Spider-Man coming out in less than 2 months.
Yeah, it was an awesome scene, actually, just to see everybody come back.
Especially when Captain America and Tony Stark, Captain America wielding Mjolnir. That was the best scene in any Marvel movie so far.
It was pretty hype. You're not wrong at all. That was honestly great, and they finally did it. Being a big comic fan, it was nice to see. As far as cinematography goes, what'd you think? What stood out to you?
I just thought all the shots were very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie was filmed perfectly. Like the camera angles were really good. Like all the battle sequences were choreographed well. Just like any scene, any of the there wasn't a lot of fight scenes, but when they did have a fight scene, perfect.
Yeah, I also think the a lot of the parallels in the scenes were great, like especially the behind the scenes shots were like very like Back to the Future reminiscent, where you see what's going on and what they're doing. And I thought they brought up a lot of old jokes that they kept running from older movies, and they worked to get that emotional reaction from you. And I think that's just something it was something they really had to work towards. It wouldn't have worked if they hadn't.
And they brought my favorite joke back.
On your left.
On your left.
On your left. All right. On to your favorite part, usually the score of the movie. What do you think of the remix Avengers theme?
Didn't like it.
Really?
No.
I'll tell you what, it's because normally you get that dramatic build-up and then it hits its high point, and then they just blew past the high point with another high point, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because I was ready for like the dun, dun, and it didn't happen.
I just didn't like the score altogether.
The whole movie.
No, not really. It just didn't pop for me. It didn't there was no standout scores. It just, a lot of it was rehashed from Infinity War, especially like the Vormir one.
Mm-hmm.
Literally almost exactly the same, with a little bit of tweaking.
See, I don't generally listen for that when I watch the movie. Like, if one really like stands out and hits me, like the main theme did, that's where I see it, where I feel it. But I'm gonna have to give that Vormir theme a second listen on Spotify or on the movie once it comes out.
It was better done in Infinity War.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
But
this is just Infinity War Part 2, to be real. It's
not even close.
It only took a year for it to come out. Usually it's a 3-year jump.
It wasn't even. It felt like a whole new movie. Not even a Part 2.
All right. I understand where you're coming from. So we've gone over the cinematography, the score. What do you think the real positives in the movie were for you?
I think any scene actually that had Ronan in it.
Oh yeah, that whole sequence I hadn't even thought about just now. Ronan was not Ronan the Accuser, Ronan the Masterless Samurai that Hawkeye's character becomes. They did really well with him.
Like, yeah, he wasn't really that well done in the previous movies, but in this film, I felt more of the character. Like, I enjoyed seeing him more.
What do you mean in previous films? Like Hawkeye in general?
Hawkeye, yeah.
Okay, I was like, Ronan in previous films?
No, like Hawkeye in general. Like, I felt his character was kind of like stale.
I know what you're saying. Hawkeye, he was just supposed to be like the glue that holds me together. Hulk was hilarious.
The Hulk was so stale in Avengers 1, Ultron. He got better in Ragnarok.
But now we have Hulk Dad.
Infinity War, it was wasted. And then this movie, it got better. But it's still, yeah, but it's still not that good.
Look, until you've seen Hulk Dab, have you lived?
I have. I just saw Endgame.
Fair.
I did
But
live.
you saw Hulk Dab?
I did.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
I feel like other positives were you finally get to see the last few characters who never met come together.
Yes.
Like seeing Tony and Rocket talk was the highlights of the movie
Hilarious.
for me. Of course.
You're only a genius on this planet, bud.
I like when he first sees me. He's like, up until right now, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. It's a really good
Tony.
Yeah. Any downsides to the movie other than the score in your eyes?
Definitely the first 20 minutes of the film. Only because it was pretty much, if you've watched the trailers, it was just all the trailers.
That's what they usually do, though. They don't want to give away like any of the
No,
major
but
points.
still, they gave away almost every
Can we talk about my
detail.
big negative of the movie?
What?
Fat Thor.
You didn't like Fat Thor.
Fat Thor was good for the first like 30 seconds, and then you're like, okay, I get it.
I thought it was pretty humorous.
I feel like it got stale pretty quick.
Not stale enough.
Not stale enough. He's like, it's like 3-day-old white bread, but like 3 days exactly. He's like, the 4th day, not yet.
Yeah, not
Yeah?
yet.
Okay. Fat Thor kept going.
Fat Thor was great.
You really... Fat Thor was great.
Yeah.
Favorite part of the film?
No.
But great.
But great, yeah.
Any other big negatives for you?
Definitely the score.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't think there were too many negatives. I thought the movie was very well.
Can I talk about a scene I thought was... Not that I thought it was a negative, but that it felt like almost forced.
What?
The girl power scene. I know you're exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I know, but
It's not that they didn't deserve it. Like, it was cool, but like there were like 5 or 6 of them at first, and then they just kept zooming out, and you're like, oh, every girl on the battlefield just stopped fighting, found each other, and then decided to go and do a thing. There were like 15 of them. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It was like one of those like bittersweet, positive, negative things.
I could see that.
Yeah. And what did you mention the other day? The Black Order just was like
Again,
there and
another
gone.
wasted time. They're supposed to be Thanos' children, essentially.
Yeah.
Bigger roles. First one, they kind of stunk. Infinity War, they stunk.
Yeah,
This
but
one
they at
they
least
came-
put up a fight. This one they just got
They
pieced
came
right
back-
out.
Just gets mushed again.
The one straight up gets stepped on by
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Giant Man.
He's still Ant-Man when he's
But
big.
he's Giant Man now.
He's Giant Man. Okay, and demographics. Who would you say should see this film?
Everyone but little kids.
I think little kids should see it. I think you're thinking of babies.
Yes. No babies. No babies. Okay? Keep them at home at least for 2 weeks.
Yeah, also, if you spoil this movie for anyone, you're a horrible human being. Sorry to tell you.
The worst.
We're doing it because you should have already seen it if you're watching a review, but don't spoil it. Ever.
Never.
It could be 10 years from now. If somebody hasn't seen it, don't spoil it. Honestly. Now, your overall number rating of the film, 1 to 10.
I would give it a solid 8.5.
Wincing at an 8.5. I think this isn't just one of my favorite Marvel movies, but just one of my favorite movies in general.
I could see that. Yeah, it was definitely.
And if you've hit that
Better
category, you've had to have hit a 10 for me. But again, I think there was so much buildup that has to be there.
It was definitely better than most MCU films. But
All MCU films? Or
Most.
including Captain America 2?
most.
All right. And guys, I think we're pretty much out of time then. We're going to wrap it up. until next time, thank you so much for listening to our first Tark Talk.
Thank you.
Hopefully you enjoyed the movie. Don't bring your babies.
Don't spoil it.
And shout out to my boy AJ.
Have a nice day, guys.